All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are going to decode one of the most powerful and honestly most overlooked tools in the entire world of gardening, the humble plant tag. It's time to unlock its secrets.
So have you ever picked one of these things up at the nursery and just your eyes glaze over, you see all this Latin, all these symbols, and it feels like it's written in some secret code meant only for professional botanists? Well, I promise you it's not. You've got to think of this tag as your plant's passport, or maybe its instruction manual. It literally tells you everything you need to know about where it comes from, what it needs, and how to help it live a long, happy life. And today, we're going to learn how to read it, together. Okay. First things first, we've got to crack the code on the most basic piece of info on here, the plant's name. And trust me, this is way more than just an introduction. It's a universal identifier. So you'll see a common name, something like sage. Easy enough, right? The problem is, sage can be a catch-all for dozens of different plants in the Salvia genus, and they all have different needs. But the scientific name? That's a universal language. It guarantees that a gardener in Sydney and a botanist in Paris are talking about the exact same plant. No confusion.
Let's break that scientific name down. The very first word you'll see is the genus. It's always capitalized, always italicized. The easiest way to think about it is like a plant's family name, its last name. It tells you the group of closely related plants it belongs to.
And right after that, you get the second word. That's the specific epithet. This part is always lowercase and still italicized. So if the genus is the last name, this is basically the plant's first name. It pinpoints the unique species within that bigger family. Now, sometimes you'll see a third name tacked on at the end. It's usually in single quotes, and it's not italicized. This is the cultivar, which is just short for cultivated variety. This tells you it's a special version that people have bred for a specific reason, like a really cool flower color, or maybe a smaller, more compact size. So, let's put it all together with a real-world example. Acer rubrum brandywine. Okay, so Acer is the genus. That's the maple family. Rubrum is the specific epithet, which tells us it's a red maple. And brandywine? That's the cultivar, a special type known for its amazing fall color. And just like that, you've completely decoded a full scientific name. See? Not so bad.
Okay, I know what you're thinking, but what about all that Latin? It's really not just there to sound fancy or academic. The cool thing is that it's actually a descriptive cheat sheet, giving you awesome clues about the plant before you even see it fully grown.
And this is where it gets really fun, because the Latin becomes a secret code. Check this out. If you see purpurea in the name, you know to expect something purple. If you see the word nana, well, that means you're getting a dwarf or miniature version of that plant. And angustifolia? That tells you it has narrow leaves. See? The name itself is painting a picture for you.
All right, let's move on from the text for a minute. Plant tags also use a universal language of icons. Think of these as your quick start guide on how to keep your new plant alive and, thriving.
The sun icons are probably the most important ones. A full, empty sun means it needs at least 6 hours of direct, blazing light. A half-shaded sun is for partial shade. It's happy with about 3 to 6 hours. And a totally filled-in circle, that means it wants full shade, less than 3 hours of direct sun. Getting this one right is probably half the battle.
Next up, water droplets. And listen, this is really important. These icons don't tell you how often to water. They tell you how wet the soil should be. 1 drop means you should let the soil dry out completely between waterings. 2 drops means keep it kind of moist. And 3 drops, that plant wants to stay consistently damp pretty much all the time. Now these arrows, these are all about planning for the future. The up arrow tells you the plant's final mature height, and the side-to-side arrow shows its mature spread, or width. You have to pay attention to this. This is what keeps you from planting a cute little shrub that eventually grows up and swallows your entire walkway. Okay, let's talk about the fine print. This section isn't just about plant health, it's about its long-term survival in your specific climate, and it can even be about the safety of your family and your pets.
So just picture this temperature for a second. A deep, bitter, ground-freezing kind of cold. This is the exact question that the hardiness zone number answers. Can the plant you're about to buy actually survive the coldest winter night your region can possibly throw at it? So the tag will list a USDA hardiness zone. All you have to do is know what zone you live in. You can look it up online in 2 seconds. If the tag says zones 5 through 8 and you live in zone 7, you're golden. But if you live in zone 4, that plant probably won't make it through your winter. It's really just a simple matching game for survival. Now, some of the most critical info on this tag involves safety. If you ever see a symbol like the skull and crossbones or the signal word danger, you need to take it seriously. This means the plant is acutely toxic, and it's a vital warning, especially if you have curious kids or pets running around. The industry usually uses a tiered system. Category B plants, like a beautiful foxglove, can be seriously toxic and ingested. Category C plants might just cause some discomfort or a rash, and you really have to be aware of pet-specific warnings. Daylilies, for instance, are notoriously toxic to cats, even though they're totally harmless to us. And finally, you might see some of these little legal symbols. PPAF means plant patent applied for. That protects the plant's unique genetics, meaning you can't legally make copies of it. The little R or TM symbols, on the other hand, they protect the brand name. The easiest way to think of it is this. A patent protects the secret formula for Coca-Cola, while a trademark protects the name Coca-Cola itself.
So, where is all this headed? Well, the physical tag itself is evolving. It's becoming a gateway to an entire digital world of information.
I mean, think about the journey we just took. We went from simple common names to universal scientific names. Then we added standardized symbols for care. And now we're at the next big step, the QR code. This little square basically solves the biggest problem with the physical tag. There's just not enough space on it.
When you scan that code, you can get video tutorials, detailed care guides, even design inspiration for your garden. You're not just holding a little plastic tag anymore, you're holding the key to a whole library of knowledge. So, really, the only question left is, now that you can read its story, which plant are you going to bring home?